Hello, Seiiti Arata. If you wanted to change how you view your life to be happier, what should you focus on first? For the Stoics, the answer is quite simple: courage, temperance, justice, and wisdom. Stoicism is a philosophical school of thought that says that a wise person is unperturbed. They free themselves from their passions and they accept their fate. And a wise person is the only one able to experience true happiness. But leaving philosophy to one side, let's now look at how you can, in practice, cultivate courage, temperance, justice, and wisdom to experience a daily increase in your levels of happiness. Cultivating courage is the best way to learn what you're truly capable of. Now, the first thing you need to understand is that courage doesn't mean the absence of fear. If you walk alone on a dangerous street late at night, wearing a gold watch with a lot of cash in your pocket, you're not being brave, you're reckless. Fear is important to protect you from danger and avoid behaviors that could put your life at risk. The problem is that excessive fear can stop you from doing things that could actually improve your quality of life. For example, imagine someone who spends years stuck in a job that they hate out of fear of not being able to find another job. So the advice is to cultivate the courage to act despite fear. One of the most famous Stoics is Seneca, and he said that no one will know what they're capable of if they spend their whole lives without a great opponent. Now, this doesn't mean facing dangers or tackling problems that you can't and that you're not yet capable of solving. Remember what we talked about in the episode number 116 of the Hello, Seiiti Arata series. Instead of just getting out of your comfort zone, think about expanding your comfort zone. To find the ideal balance between risks and challenges that you can face, you need to cultivate the second virtue of Stoicism, which is temperance. Temperance is the balance that you're looking for to have a happier life. Temperance means balance and self-control. But this is a difficult virtue to find because we're now living in an age that values a lot of engagement. You can see this in social media. And one of the things that generates the most engagement is extremism, which is the exact opposite of temperance. Aristotle called temperance the golden mean. He gave us an example that helps us to understand the importance of temperance. You can just think of a straight line that represents courage. And if a person is at the extreme negative point of that line, that person is cowardly paralyzed by fear. But if a person is at the opposite extreme of that line, well, they are being reckless and they're acting without thinking of the dangers. The golden mean is somewhere in the middle of that line, with a balanced dose of courage to act despite fear, but measuring all the consequences, the context of what is being done. This is the virtue of temperance that you want to cultivate to increase your happiness. Avoid the excesses, the extremes. Do the right thing at the right time, in the right amount. Imagine what your life would be like if you balanced how much you eat, how much you spend, how much you exercise. Imagine if you could find the ideal point between work and leisure, between study and practice, between time with your family, time for yourself. If you look closely, temperance is related to justice. And justice is the next skill that the Stoics say that you should cultivate. Justice is the source of all other virtues, and it boils down to just one action: doing the right thing. If we could sum up Stoicism in just a few words, we would say this: do the right thing. Justice is the most important skill to improve your quality of life because justice is the source of all other virtues. Justice starts in your personal life and then it expands to your public attitudes, necessarily in that order. First, you have to do your part. You have to be fair to your coworkers, to your family, to yourself. Being fair is giving everyone what is theirs, to each his own. This includes going after the things that you deserve. This means not taking advantage of others and not accepting advantages that you don't deserve, but it also means being fair enough to recognize the moments when you give your best, when you do whatever is within your power, when you do the right thing. And once you're doing your part, then it's also important to think of justice as a whole. Yeah, you can engage in a cause that you believe in, be it to change the street where you live or the country where you live in. A Stoic person sees the world clearly, but they also see clearly what the world can become. And if they have the courage and the will, they can help the world become that better place. But in order to not go out campaigning for the wrong causes, it is ideal that they also have wisdom. Wisdom is the skill that makes you always improve. We agree that, okay, justice is doing the right thing. But now, how do we know what is the right thing to do? We also agree that temperance is necessary for a balanced life, but now, how do we know what the ideal balance point is? And there was also courage. How do we know if we are being brave, we are acting cowardly, recklessly? All these answers can only be reached with the fourth virtue of the Stoics, which is wisdom. And to acquire wisdom, you need to study and learn. You need to put into practice everything that you've been studying and you've been learning, making your mistakes and successes. You need to experience your mistakes and also your successes to keep improving. Everyone acquires experience over time, and you can let life be guiding you. You follow life, learning randomly from these experiences, or you can take the reins of your knowledge and start studying more, practicing more actively, succeeding more and more. You can create routines to have more books in your life, to have more courses, to have more practical activities. The amount of information that we have available today is infinite. And this information can be used, consumed, for you to be watching funny videos on the internet, or you can be learning things and acquire wisdom. But the ideal thing is to have a balance point between learning and a little bit of distraction. Wisdom makes you have the right answers to the questions that are limiting your life and bring you happiness. Or at least it will make you reflect on the right questions to find the answers that you're looking for. Now, the goal here is very practical. You don't want to just acquire information for the sake of it. The idea is not that you're going to be memorizing mathematical formulas or historical dates. Wisdom means acquiring useful information that is useful for your current challenges. Information that will help you to lead a happier life. It is no coincidence that the motto of Arata Academy is your continued improvement. We believe that only with study and practice you can enter a cycle of virtue, of continuous improvement that will take you to the levels of happiness that you deserve. And that will be easier to achieve if you cultivate from today the virtues of courage, temperance, justice, and wisdom. The four virtues of Stoicism can bring about a real revolution to your quality of life. Our tip today here is that you start cultivating each one of these with intent, right now, from today. Courage, temperance, justice, and wisdom, they're qualities that have been tested for centuries and are still being used by the great minds to achieve a happier life. And for those of you who are interested in increasing your own levels of happiness, now I want to invite you to check the Happiness course by Arata Academy. You can go to arata.se/happiness.